How many of you want to be successful in life? Good. Well, I'm glad you came then, because for the next 29 minutes, that's what we're going to be talking about. Here's the first ingredient it's going to take for you to be successful out there in the world. And I don't care whether you're in engineering or computer science or the ministry or coaching or whatever field, these principles have to be there. Absolutely have to be there. Principle number one, you've got to have a dream.
Didn't get pilot training on the first try, didn't get to test pilot school on the first try, and didn't get to be an astronaut on the first try. But persistence paid off. And you know, my goal to be an astronaut, it's really hard to set your goals that far out. What you really need to do is set an intermediate goal that's going to get you there and work toward that one. And then when you achieve that goal, then set your next goal and move on.
Being a leader's hard. It is often unpopular. Heard a phrase one time and it went something like this: no progress is ever made without first one being in an unpopular position. Think about that. We kind of love status quo in our lives, right? I mean, we truly do. Change is difficult.
How much do the companies internationally value reaching out to the community, reaching out to the people?
It's a very important part of what we do. Both, I would say, both from a social point of view and from a business point of view. I think marrying the two, success is if you can marry both of these things from a corporate perspective.
Our speaker is Ray Lugo. He's the director of the National Aeronautics and Space Administration's John H. Glenn Research Center in Cleveland. He's responsible for planning, organizing, directing the activities required in accomplishing the missions assigned to the Glenn Center.
But you know, I'd have to say this, is I was fortunate to be here at UCF, and at the time I was here, it was actually called Florida Technological University. And I was part of President Milliken's problem trying to get all the students on board with the name change. So I spent a little bit of time in his office, and I would say it was an interesting time, but I actually ended up getting 2 diplomas instead of just 1. So.
If you're going to be an entrepreneur, everyone knows that it takes money to start designing whatever it is you want to make. Where do you get the money? How do you know who you can ask for or trust?
Over time, you'll build up enough experience and knowledge where many more people will trust you than they would initially with their money, right? Venture capitalists, you know, their job is to take a risk on people. But they're smart, right? They don't take a risk on anybody.
Satisfying moment in your least satisfying moment?
Yeah, I would say my most satisfying moment is always seeing somebody do something they never thought they could do. I mean, as a manager or a leader, what motivates me is working with people to do the impossible. I had a manager that was dying of leukemia. I was down in Boca, and he asked me for permission to have his laptop in the hospital. I said, why would you do that? You know, worry about other things. And he said, no, I don't want my team to think I quit on them. So anyways, you know, these things in our careers, to me, the good and the bad, it gets down to people, you know.
Yeah.
What would you classify as the most important qualities of a good leader?
I think I would say know what you want at a certain conceptual level, and then articulate it very clearly and consistently, and repeatedly, and continue to align everything you say and everything you do to that kind of orientation, so that eventually people really get that you're serious about X, and that you're serious about the implementation of it all the way down through the organization.
To sales, and to me, business development becomes more about relationships. So I mean, it is important as an engineer, or you know, the social side of things is important. One thing that I think helped make us very successful is that I was selling products and services that I understood, so I was very confident. And so, and I truly believe in that. I think going to a customer and telling them about their, you know, how you can help their needs, if you truly understand it, goes a long way.
know, I am rewarded by what I get to do because my personal passions have to do with energy, science, and education. And I get to do all of those in the context of my job. So I got the NREL thing, I get to do the energy piece, that's great. I work on the National Science Board, which is a science-focused effort for the country, something that I'm particularly excited by. And then there's the component of Great Minds in STEM, which is I'm on the board of directors for this not-for-profit that's about increasing the participation of scientists and engineers in the marketplace, and specifically those that are in the underserved communities. And that one I'm particularly excited by. We actually have a conference every year, and the last couple of years we've had it here in Orlando, and this year we'll have it in Orlando as well. And so I encourage you, as part of the local community, to seek that out. Go to greatmindsinstem.org, and I think it'll offer you a lot of specifics, and it really is an area where I think you can see other professionals and see some role models, engage with industry. They got a career fair. It's kind of an exciting thing. It happens in October, and there's an award ceremony that goes with that. I encourage you to look that up.
How do you deal with setbacks in your job when you really believe in something and it does go your own way?
You know, I'm trained as an experimentalist, and one of the things that I learned about doing experiments is that you kind of have to do it once to figure out how to do it. Well, it's great to be at University of Central Florida on Senior Design Day. These are exceptionally interesting events, and for the most part, I think they are necessary parts of the evolution and the training of the next level of workforce. I'm happy that I get a chance to interact with students and get a chance to meet some of the faculty and get an opportunity to see what is going on here at the University of Central Florida. So I think some of the skills that we are looking for I think the next generation of worker in the energy arena is a very broad discipline sort of expertise. The real key, I think, to solving the challenges and the problems that the country has, certainly in energy, is really innovation.